Hi and welcome back. Today I'm creating a spread in my handmade junk art journal, and I have already primed the pages with gesso, and now I'm going in with some acrylic paints. My camera stopped recording and I just recognized that a minute later, and here you already see me blending the acrylics with a spatula. I have also added some white, and I have laid some paper underneath the pages to protect the rest of my book. I'm adding in a little bit more of the blue paint with a small flat brush just to bring in some different texture. I leave this to dry before I keep on working, and when it's dry I come back with some stamping to create more texture and more depth on the whole page. The stamp I'm using here is one from the pencil mark stamp sets. Actually, I'm using 3 different ones of the same kind of motif, and I'm using the pumpkin StazOn ink. I'm adding even more stamping with background stamps, and first I'm using the grid stamp from the mixed media mark stamp set, and I also will use one of the texture stamps from the same set. And here I'm using, I believe, the teal blue ink from StazOn also, because I prefer StazOn on an acrylic surface as it dries super quick. I still feel the page is boring and I want to add some red or pinkish color, and I do this just with my fingers and I'm blending it in, and I also dip my finger into water to blend it even more, but then I decided to use a baby wipe to blend it in the background, and I think it was the right decision to use this color in addition. For some more interest and texture, I'm using white acrylic paint together with a Q-tip, and I just make some dots. And I also use my fingers to bring in some more of the white. I also wanted to add some stamped images in this color, and here I'm using the cherry pink, and I just stamp some of the pencil mark circles randomly to the background. And on the top left, I'm feeling it's a bit too much, and there's also a bit of the yellow missing, so I just come in with this color again. I also will add some splatters in white with white acrylic ink. The first one becomes a bit big, but I don't mind that. While my page is drying, I want to color in my main images. I wasn't sure which ones I want to use, so I stamped 3 of them with Memento ink to the perfect coloring paper. I colored some birdies yesterday with them, and I really enjoyed working with the markers, and so I decided to pick this for today's journal page. Here you see me swatching out the colors I'm using. I have the Twinmarkers from the Action Store and one alcohol marker from Tombow. I love the Tombow markers. They are way better than the cheaper ones because their nib is just perfect. I believe their ink is also better. I don't know much about ink, and I'm not going for any light fastness. I just feel the difference is the nib, and it's just more bigger, it's more brushy, and it's more sturdy and not as destroyable maybe as the ones from the cheap brands. I believe my way of coloring with alcohol markers is a bit different than usual because I am not someone who can color in images. I just do it more in a loose way, and I like it colorful, and absolutely there are no rules for me. I just try to have some highlights, some shadows, and some texture. If you're interested in the exact numbers of the markers, I will write them in the video description. I will keep the real time for this first birdie and then switch to a speed up mode because I think it can get kind of boring to watch me coloring in these birdies. After the alcohol markers, I'm going in with my color pencils. I really love to add texture and color with color pencils, either over markers or over watercolor. I feel it gives a piece much more dimension and interest. Here I'm using the light yellow glaze color just to give it kind of a more warmer yellowish tone so it matches my pages better. And with an orange I'm adding some more details. I've cut out the birdies and I'm now going to adhere them with some usual wet craft glue. For my sentiment, I have stamped it twice to the marker paper. Once I've used the black memento ink and one of the red colors because I was not sure which one I want to use. And here you see me using the same markers I've just used for my birdies to give it some background coloring. And as the black one is much more visible, I decided to go with this. And I just want to cut the words apart and glue them down separately. I'm using a white Posca paint pen to let the words pop a bit more by adding a shadow. And that's my finished spread. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you will see us next time. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye!